everybody, but especially the Mocha Latte gang. What is good with you? Before we get things started, I have to first give a shout out to my subbies, both new and old alike. If this is your first time seeing this face and or hearing this voice, welcome to my channel, and I promise you're going to stay a while because you're going to love it here, because this is where the magic lives. I understand that you are more than one facet. I know that you are multidimensional. So why give you just a little taste when I can give you the whole diamond, baby? Now, doesn't that sound fun? Now, for those of you who have been with me for a while, y'all already know how we get it done on this channel. We're all just one big happy lit family, and that's just what it is. So without further ado, we're just gonna dive right into it. Now, I know that it has been a while since I have done anything video game related on this channel, so we're going to change that right now with a game review. This game that I'm reviewing is titled as Dusk Falls, and it is on the Xbox X Series, the Xbox One, as well as your PC and mobile devices. It was released July 19th, so a little bit over a week and a half ago, and it is under the adventure novel game genre, but I think it's more of a crime drama, if you will. Think Walking Dead, think Life is Strange, think Tell Me Why as far as video games are concerned, and then think Breaking Bad and Criminal Minds as far as television is concerned. Smush them together, and that's what you'll get with this game. Now, with saying all that, we're just gonna go ahead and dive right into the plot of it. Okay, so we get two families. We get family man Vince Walker and his family, the Walkers, and then we get the Holt brothers and their family, and they collide one night after a robbery gone wrong. Now, once this happens, their lives get entangled and it changes forever. We discover secrets, which leads to lies and betrayal, and we get deceit. So we get all of that within this game. It plays out like an interactive movie, if you will, because it's more heavily story based than it is actual game mechanics, and it will appeal to both gamers and non-gamers, because I know when I was playing, my mom actually sat and watched me play it because it was just that good. The story was compelling and all of that good stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into that gameplay, since I've been talking a lot, since I'm mentioning gameplay. So, speaking on gameplay, I just said that it's more of a story game, more heavily based on the story side of things than it is actual button mashing and gameplay mechanics. But that doesn't mean that there is not any, game mechanics at all, if you will. Whether it's a swipe left or right on your screen, if it's on a phone, or a moving of your analog stick on your Xbox controller, right or left. You're either pressing repeatedly, tapping once, or holding the A button on your controllers. And when you're doing that, that's in these events called QTEs, or quick time events. And that happens throughout the game, which makes your characters perform certain actions, whether it's, climbing something, getting to something, or whatever the case may be. Now, I need to mention that during these events, even though they're simple and simplistic, you can't fail the QTEs. You can't actually fail them, but that doesn't mean that it's game over, because in this game there is no game over screen. The game just keeps going, and it adapts to whether you have success or whether you fail, and it just builds upon that. So be careful with those QTEs. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. But moving on, what's a game like this without some decision making? How do you make those decisions? It's more of a point and click type of thing, regardless of what device or what console you're playing it on. There's about 4 or 5 different things you can say during conversations with various characters of the games, and you pick which one, and that's what they say, and based on what you say will drive the relationship with the characters either this way or that way. You play as multiple different characters throughout the entire game. It is divided into 2 books and 6 chapters. They each take about a little bit around an hour, give or take a few minutes to complete. So this game isn't going to take just a whole lot of your time, roughly 6 hours to finish, but you're going to enjoy those 6 hours, and it's going to definitely have you wondering what's going to happen next. Now, since we're talking about those decisions, the more serious decisions, you will definitely know it because they will look different from the other decisions, and I'm going to show you what that looks like on either side of me. It will say crossroad decisions, and those decisions don't have a timer. The other decisions do have one, but it's definitely more than enough time to make a decision. Not saying that the other decisions don't matter, because they do. And this is probably the first game that I have played like this, that your decisions actually really do sway the story one way or another with your characters. It actually does change the course of the game. Now, there are a few things that do happen regardless of what you choose, but the vast majority of your decisions do change everything. And you will have to play this game several different times in order to see all the different endings with each of the different characters, because I think it's like maybe 40 different endings that you can get with this game, which I do think is quite impressive. The first playthrough will probably be the most authentic to the type of person that you are, and the reason why I say this is because at the end of each chapter you get like what they call is character traits, where it talks about kind of how you play the game, whether it's okay you made decisions based on honesty or love or trust, or you was able to make quick decisions in a pinch and the clutch. They have all that laid out for you, as well as the story tree, which I think is a neat feature because it shows you which way you went, and then it shows you, although it'll be blacked out, the other ways that the story could have gone if you would have made different choices. So that sets us up for definitely a high replay value game. Now that we've talked about the gameplay, let's move on to the graphics, which to me are quite interesting, and they're different from a lot of the video games that we have out there. Let's get into the graphics of this game. Now, the graphics as Dusk Falls are quite interesting and different from the game graphics that we get in other games. Why? For one, we don't get full-on animation. 2, we get 3D backgrounds with 2D avatars. So that makes it very interesting to look at. I will say that it took me a while to get used to that, only because I'm used to having the 3D avatar that can move around and explore the environment instead of the point and click that we get in as Dusk Falls. Now, since they don't, walk around gang doing none of that, since they don't talk, so we won't see their mouths move at all during the entire game, but we will get a little hair blowing in the summer breeze or something like that, and we don't get full on motion, so we get frames instead of that, which leaves your imagination to kind of fill in those gaps in between each frame. which makes it very, very interesting, this interesting comic book style. Now, the 2D figures, in my opinion, look like they were hand painted, which looks really good against the 3D background in some still shots. It looks incredible. It's amazing. And you can tell that the artist that did this was very, very, very talented. But it doesn't look all that great when we get some of the action cinematics during the game. Periodically, it does downgrade the graphics just a bit, but overall they are very visually pleasing once you get used to it, which for me was maybe halfway through the first chapter. Okay, final thoughts. The story is compelling. Even though we don't get full-on animation, the voice actors do bring it home. They give us the emotions that get us in our feelings and want us to continue to play the game to see what happens next. We get some interesting character development because there isn't any cut and dry, okay, who's good, who's bad, who's villain, who's not, one way or the other. 1 minute you might be like, oh, this person trash, I want them to kick the bucket, I can't stand them, oh, why are they even here? And then the next minute it's like you feeling sorry for them. You kind of understand why they are the way they are, and maybe they not as bad as you thought that they were. So it's really not that black and white, and I do think that's what the developers were trying to get at when they created this game. So I would give this game a 8.5 on storytelling, on graphics, on the entire, story itself. I liked it. Yeah, 8.5. So, if you've made it to this point of the video, why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't? Why don't you go ahead and hit the red box here, there, or it might even just be floating around up there somewhere. Who knows, depending on what device that you are watching me on. And then after you do that, I need you to go ahead and hit that bell so you'll be notified every time I post, so you won't miss anything. And then after that, I need you to stay blessed. I need you to stay fly, and may angels be encamped around and about you. Until next time, holla.